The wild versus managed care or a zoo. Now, as always, whenever I'm talking about something related to my current career, I'm not speaking on behalf of any place that I've worked at in the past or in the present, rather than giving my own opinion. Now, the wild. Everyone wants to see as much wild as possible. Unfortunately, we're losing parts of it every day. We almost do what we can to protect it. It's better for the animals, and it's better for us to have a healthy planet. Only support those accredited zoos that are directly supporting work in the field, out there in the wild. As I've stated many times on this channel, there are probably more places that shouldn't exhibit animals than good ones that do. So please always look into any facility that you may visit that has exotic animals. You can do a lot of research from the comfort of your own home. Some animals do very well in captivity or managed care at a zoo, for instance. This video is mostly to give those that may not travel or know that much about ecosystems the truth of the wild. Now, some small insects or reptiles may not know a single difference between the wild and managed care. But let's talk about the larger mammals, as they are usually the main reason why someone would go to a zoo. So yes, animals in the wild compared to captivity may lead very different lives. I think a lot of people think of the wild as some kumbaya Disney film. But the wild is full of diseases, habitat loss, and an eat or be eaten mentality. For instance, like a prey animal, let's say an antelope or zebra. At a zoo, they may not live in a herd full of hundreds of animals like you may see in Tanzania. But they won't ever have to run away from a lion, and they can eat grass in peace. Nor will they have to follow seasonal paths to where the good grasses are, across a river full of crocodiles waiting to drown you and rip you apart. And even the king of jungle, or the king of the savannas we should say, the lion, of course lives a very different life between being in the wild and being at a zoo. If they make it to adulthood, that is. As in the wild, only half of cubs make it to their first year, and then only 1 out of 5 will reach adulthood. Imagine that. You have 80% odds that something bad is going to happen to you. And it only gets worse if you're a male lion. Studies show that only 1 in 8 male lions will reach adulthood. And this is for the king of Africa. Just think how hard it is for smaller animals way down the food chain. So sure, a lion's hunting is taken away for the most part at a zoo. Sleep, hunt, and protect territory. Well, that's the life of a wild lion. In managed care, his food is brought to him, so no need to hunt. So you can use various enrichment to take up that time that's spent where he may be hunting in the wild. And of course, he won't ever get to have that large pride, but he could still be part of a family unit, just smaller. And a lion could spend all the time he wants sleeping, as there is no need to protect his territory at a zoo. He also will have health care, and he doesn't have to worry about getting torn apart by a pack of hyenas or killed by a rival male lion or pride. It is very rare to grow to an old age and peacefully pass away in the wild. There is no living assistance for older animals. They either starve to death or get killed. And as mentioned, at a good zoo, a lion's popularity is bringing in the public, and that money, in part, will go help to protect wild lions out there. Also, keep in mind that parts of the wild in just the past 100 years went from untouched land to very divided parks surrounded by fences, where the animals are all known, and the park officials at times have to move animals around or use other methods to control their populations. Some of these parks are filled with tourists like me who want to go out and see these wild animals. And a lot of these parks, or the wild, are surrounded by communities full of people and roads full of vehicles that these animals have to avoid in order to get from one point to another. And that's hopefully they get from one protected area to another protected area, as poaching is still out of control. So as you can see with those few examples, life of course is drastically different between living in the wild or living in managed care at a zoo. But as you can see, it's not always for the worse. It's really who wants to get eaten at the end of their life. Now, this isn't at all to say, well, let's go out in the wild and gather up all the animals and put them in a zoo. This is more or less to give you a more realistic view of the wild out there. And I can't say it enough, it is so very important to protect the wild, so please only support those facilities that are directly supporting helping animals in the wild. Now, for more information on this topic, please read the links I've given you in the description of this video. And as always, thanks for watching.